Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is May the 14th, 2026. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Thursday, everyone. Hopefully the day treated you well. Hopefully it treated you right and nice. For me, I had to shake it up a little bit. It was a little bit different day, different order operations. It was just an odd day, but we made the most of it. I will say, starting off, I did not wake up great. It's one of those kind of nights where I technically slept well, but I didn't get enough sleep. I think because of the nap from the other day, I stayed up too late, and then I woke up and I just didn't have enough sleep, and I got tired pretty quickly. I felt grumpy pretty much immediately at the top of the day, but I think it was just the atmosphere of the day that was also just, if I'm going to be honest, just pissing me the fuck off, because we had and this is going to make me maybe sound like an asshole to some, I don't fucking know, but we had what they called Customer Appreciation Day. This is the first time I've ever heard of us doing this fucking shit. I've been in this company for 11 years now. Essentially, from what I heard, because I really wasn't paying attention to this, I thought it was way smaller potatoes than it was until I drove in today and realized, I can't park in my spot. I have to park at the lower lots because they're using this whole parking area for the customer. So, okay. Now, if you don't know, I work at a big warehouse. You know, we do a lot of shirts and boxes, stuff in boxes. We ship them out, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. It's a warehouse gig. So, like, we have a little showroom at best, and maybe a customer is checking that kind of shit out. But I guess we decided to mix it up this year and do something different. And we invited out 500 of our customers. And of those 500, I think about 250 to 300 said, okay, yeah, we'll totally show up for this. What is it? You're asking, you're wondering. I didn't know. Apparently, we set up a whole ass fucking like big tent situation, chairs, beers, food for all of these customers, and then we let them tour our warehouse, show them our fucking wares, show off the employees. Like, they made sure that we wore these specific shirts, and what was giving me a little bit of glee, just for no reason, was seeing people at work not wearing the shirt. My fucking lame ass definitely did, but I wore my hoodie on over it because I'm like, it's cold today. Like, I'm not gonna, be chilly for this shit. Fuck this. But I came in knowing this was gonna be a thing, and I learned more about it as the day went, and I was just grumpy. I was just so fucking grumpy. And there's no work, there's nothing to do. Like, what are we showing off? No one's buying shit apparently. What the fuck? There's no action, there's no motion here right now. So I immediately wanted to get out early, which is just now, I think, becoming baked in. Until we get busy, I really don't want to be in the warehouse, like, especially the slower it gets, because they're forcing me upstairs. And another thing that annoyed me today was I had requested to go home early. And then one of the leads called looking for the person who runs like the second shift or whatever, and they're like, hey, make sure that you're checking on it because Isaiah's not gonna be here, like, he's gonna be leaving early. And I immediately, like, sour face, because I'm like, you fucking assholes, y'all know, like, you guys put me in a situation where I'm not even supposed to be down there anyway. What are you talking about? Like, that's old hat. Like, it just kind of goes to show how little that fucking decision mattered. And I know, longtime listeners, consistent motherfuckers, like, why is he lingering on this so much? It's like, because it's my fucking life, and I hate that it's one of those things where it's like, they just saw me texting, and they made a move to, like, make it so that I will hopefully not text, and now I'm just in this fucking dumbass putback purgatory for forever. And it's just like, I hate being at the whims of these people. It's so annoying, and they don't even care. It doesn't even matter to them. It's an offhand fucking thought, and they just see it through, and now I'm stuck in this. And it's like, great. So yeah, I just wanted to get out. I got out, and I knew that I wanted to do laundry. So I come home, and I'm like getting half set up to do laundry, and I just stopped dead in my tracks, and I'm like, Isaiah, you're too tired. There's just no more gas in the tank. You need to lay down. And I'm like, balls. Okay. So I lay down. I have a little rest. I think I might have been down for like almost 2 hours. I get up, feel a lot better. And I'm like, all right, let's go do the laundry. And overall, that went well. No problems, no fuss, no muss. But I come home after doing the laundry. I'm folding everything up. It's getting late. And I'm like, I need to go to the gym. And then I stop myself again. And I'm like, Isaiah, what you need to do is you need to eat. Because I think another reason why I get so tired and like sleep becomes even more important is because I just have moments where I'm not eating well, y'all, and that happens. And it's more of a timing thing as of this week lately than anything else. But it really doesn't matter what the reasoning is. If I'm not able to like make the dinners and eat, then I'm not going to have the energy, and then I'm going to have to just sleep. That's just the way it is. I wish I was boundless. I wish I had no time constraints, but both of these things are realities for me. So I was like, okay, I think I just have to call it. I have to chalk the gym today, and I need to cook. So I just cooked some chicken and rice, threw a little kimchi on it, some greens, some carrots, yada, 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 yada. It was yummy. It was good. And then I was like still hungry, and I'm like, well, yeah, you didn't have your snack. So I'm like, just keep eating, and I haven't snack. And here we are. Also, I did get a stretch in between the laundry. I like to do that sometimes. That's like one of the few times I actually stretch before the gym. And I know people are like, oh my God, you don't stretch before the gym? No, I don't stretch before the gym, and I don't warm up. And I'm not saying that makes me cool or smart. It makes me a dumb rockhead, blockhead. But I just don't like to. I just don't want to. And I do it after. Yeah, so there you go. The more you know about me. Anyway, that was my day. You're pretty much all caught up on my Joneses. We're closing up on a Thursday night. And I was like, I can't wait to yap to my dear listeners. So yeah, I'm excited. Excited to do our startup and let's get into it. Yeah. I did have an awkward moment with one of my friends where I asked him to follow me on Spotify. and he's like, oh, cool. I didn't know you did all this. You have a lot of episodes. And I told me, yeah, da, da, da. And he was like, oh, I'll check you out. I'm like, you don't have to do that. Sometimes I weirdly care about numbers, and then I want what I want, and I try to pursue it. But I still feel embarrassed that I tell people that I yap every day or damn near every day. And then not to mention, not just do I yap, I also yap about things that are above my fucking, pay grade in terms of politics and, other news happenings and shit. But here we are, right? Over 1,000 episodes, by the way. Okay. All right, let's get into some news. From News 5 Cleveland, which is a ABC subsidiary. 2 dead after plane crashes into house in Akron, police say. 2 people are dead after a plane crashed into an Akron home on Thursday afternoon. The crash occurred around 3:45 p.m. in the 2000 block of Canterbury Circle, a residential neighborhood in the southern part of the city. Akron Fire said both of the deceased were located inside the aircraft. No one in the house was injured, but 2 homes were evacuated. Akron District Fire Chief Sergey Lash said all 4 residents of the house were in it at the time of the crash. There were a couple and 2 children that lived there, Lash said. They were all 4 home, and they were able to get out with no injuries. So we're fortunate that they are safe. And let's see here. Scrolling ahead. The home did catch fire, and a heavy black smoke was reported in the area. Lash said crews extinguished the fire and prevented it from spreading to other homes. Yeah, but I don't have any details in terms of like what caused the crash. It does look like it was a Piper PA-28. I'm not familiar with that plane model. But I will say there was something weird about this that just made me think, and not so much that it was local or anything, but I feel like I guess we've gotten to a certain threshold. Not that these happen a lot or they're frequent, but just over my time of covering it, I thought like, in a way or shape or form, like a plane crashing in a residential area isn't so out of pocket. I remember, I think, watching Donnie Darko and thinking like, wow, what a crazy movie, so wild. But then for some reason I'm thinking of this, I'm like, I guess, yeah, it could happen that a plane just fucks up and like, kaboom, kablow, GG's. And just seeing it happen like either a residential area or a highway, and like just, obviously a plane having to come down when it shouldn't. It's like, goddamn, I guess it's real enough to make you think and almost worry maybe. So there's that. But obviously, condolences to people who lost their lives. Obviously, it's really sad, very unfortunate. And, just people having to go through this. No one wants to have a plane go through your fucking house. That's not a good time. So, yeah. But let's move on. More bad times ahead. From the Associated Press, gunfire breaks out in Philippines. I'm gonna run that back. Gunfire breaks out in Philippine Senate where authorities tried to arrest a senator. A burst of gunfire rang out late Wednesday in the Philippine Senate, sparking chaos in the building where authorities had tried to arrest a senator wanted by the International Criminal Court in connection with a deadly government crackdown on drugs. Excuse me. No one was hurt, officials said. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. asked the public to stay calm in televised remarks. It was not immediately clear who fired the shots or why. The gunfire erupted as Philippine authorities tried to arrest Senator Ronald Dela Rosa, a former national police chief who enforced former President Rodrigo Duterte's anti-drug efforts in which thousands of mostly petty suspects were killed from 2016 to 2018. Now I want to pause right here. Now, and I don't want to say, obviously, this is where I'm talking about punching above my pay grade. I'm not for or pro any of these guys we've just mentioned, of these three dudes. Where it comes to Ferdinand, I'm really Bongbong Marcos? I think I'm getting that right. Ferdinand Marcos Jr., former President Rodrigo Duterte, or De La Rosa. All these motherfuckers are bad guys to me. They're not good. That being said, the focus of this is De La Rosa, who has decided to say, hey, instead of facing the music, instead of being like, hey, I'm going to be a brave, strong leader, and I'm going to face these charges. He goes, no, I'm going to hang out in the Senate and chill here and hope that my cold personality, my followers come and rally around me. Like, okay. Or another option, which I'm not saying good or I advocate for or whatever, this isn't wholesome, but just do the exile route then. If you have the money and means, get the fuck out. Like, you don't want to face the music, you don't want to deal with this shit, then fine. Just fucking go. But instead you're like, no. I'm going to choose a third option, which is hold up in the Senate and like technically put a lot of people's lives in jeopardy and waste a lot of people's time and tax dollars. Like, that's cool. That's awesome. Actually, yeah, you guys should come and defend me and body block for me. Like, it's markings of a great and wonderful leader right there. But let me go ahead and get back to the article. Allied senators took De La Rosa into protective custody on Monday when he reappeared after months of absence. Several senators were still in the building after holding a session when the gunshots were heard by a throng of journalists, including two from the Associated Press. Armed security personnel, including military members, ran around with guns ready and later asked employees to leave as tensions started to ease. Let's see. But I still don't know, though, who popped off. Was it security? Was it, a defender, follower of De La Rosa? Like, I'm not sure there. I'm kind of just going to skip ahead here. De La Rosa, 64, has vowed to fight the ICC arrest order. He called on his followers Wednesday night to gather in the Senate to prevent what he said was his impending arrest. It's like, dude, yeah, how brave. Thank you. Yeah, but that's, hey, I guess there's going to be people who are like, no, I believe in De La Rosa. Like, the Philippines are better at post his crackdown. And it's like, okay, I guess you were not one of those people who, lost a dog, a son or, sibling or whatever to this fucking crackdown. But all right, I guess it is easier for you to look at it that way, and its grass is greener, and it's like, we should be protecting these kind of people. These are heroes. That feels warped to me from where I'm sitting, but that's me in good old Ohio. Let's see here. National Bureau of Investigation agents tried to arrest De La Rosa on Monday, but he managed to dash to the Senate plenary hall. Plenary hall? I think it's plenary hall. And sought the help of fellow senators. Caetano said then he would cite the government agents involved for contempt. Duarte was arrested in March last year and flown to the ICC headquarters in The Hague. He is still in detention in the Netherlands and faces a trial in the killings from his crackdown, in which De La Rosa has also been accused. It's like, don't let what happened to him happen to me. It's like, no, that should fucking happen. At least that's how I feel about it. But for some reason, thinking about this did kind of make me think back to the whole, like, Trump situation for some reason with, like, Maduro, where it's like, we just did the thing that The Hague does, which is essentially what we say, hey, you guys are the bad guys, and we're dealing with it. Now, granted, in situations with Duterte and De La Rosa, there's clear evidence. There's reason. I believe that. I'm fucking with it. These guys should be locked the fuck up. And I'm saying that Maduro shouldn't be locked the fuck up. But it's just like, once again, it's just how we always go about it. It's just always so like, eh. And I'm more for at least this version of it that we have right now going on in the Philippines, because at least it's like a whole order of states and nations, which I'm not rooting for and giving roses to or whatever, but at least they all kind of came together, looked at the evidence, and said, hey, we can all see this and say this is a bad guy. These are bad people. These guys should get locked up and go to trial over this stuff. Okay, that's fine. It's a little bit different than what we got going on, in America and Venezuela. I would say. But anyway, had me thinking, had me wondering. I feel like we've talked about this. We've extrapolated enough here. There are more details in terms of talking about, like, Sarah Duterte. It's a whole other thing. I was kind of like, I should read about that, but for the sake of time, we're just going to deviate. Obviously, if you would like to get reacquainted, get the crash course, I would suggest this. Also, this is another reason why I like fucking with TrueAnon. I learned a lot of just side stuff about the Philippines, about the government, about the shit going on there that I wouldn't just from listening to just that. So I always like referencing them if you are interested in the Philippines, what's going on there, because there's a fuck ton. And honestly, that's definitely another region just historically I would actually love to get into and learn more about. I should probably try to put that on. But you know me, I really like to learn things in a dumb, abstract, shitty way. It's the millennial in me, I guess. I'm like, I would love to have a podcast where they just talk about the history of the Philippines. That would be so fucking fun. I'm like, bro, you could just look it up. You could just get some books. And I'm like, so much time and money. I could just listen to like 8 hours of a podcast though. That'd be so much easier. No. And that's me on a plate. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. We're gonna call that covered. From Yahoo News, Supreme Court blocks ban on mail order mifepristone, preserving nationwide access to the abortion drug for now. The Supreme Court on Thursday preserved nationwide access to mifepristone, an abortion pill that can be prescribed by telemedicine and mailed to patients across state lines. The decision temporarily blocks a lower court ruling that would have prevented abortion providers from mailing mifepristone. After briefly putting that ruling on hold in order to consider its next steps, the Supreme Court granted emergency requests to 2 mifepristone manufacturers seeking to allow access to the drug while litigation continues. 2 conservative members of the court, Justice Clarence Thomas and Justice Samuel Alito, dissented. Which those two dissenting on a thing like this is not surprising at all. I will say, though, the Supreme Court interjecting, like, okay, putting out the temporary ban and then extending it, saying, hey, no, we're serious about it. So I'm like, that's good. That's a breath of fresh air, at least. It's giving people at least a time to still, have access to this. I'm definitely worried about it, given the fact that this is a supermajority, as it has been for a while now. I just wonder how much of this is a theater thing, where they're like, we just don't want people to, like, scream bloody murder over this, but eventually we will take this away permanently. and we're just kind of biding our time, maybe till after the midterm, so to speak. I don't know. That speculation had just kind of popped up on my head there. I don't know. But it is one of those things where it's just like, good, thank you, but there's like, dot, 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 question mark. When are you going to put the hammer on this? Because we all know you guys are licking your fucking lips over it. Sans what, 3? It's 3 judges. So yeah, it's just the unfortunate dance that we have to kind of do over things that you should just have the access to. It's just, human rights type shit, in my opinion. But people are like, I don't know. Guys like Clarence Thomas like, I don't fucking know. Anyway, let's move on. We got some more spy shit. We got some more espionage shit on the docket. Let me go ahead and take a quick water break. We got a story from CNN. All right. FBI offers $200,000. Let's try it back. FBI offers $200,000 for information on former Air Force intelligence specialist charged with spying for Iran. The FBI is offering $200,000 for information that could lead to the arrest of a former Air Force intelligence specialist who was charged in 2019 with spying for Iran. In an announcement Thursday, the FBI said it is still trying to locate Monica Witt, who it believes defected to Iran in 2013. The agency said it believes she likely continues to support Iran's nefarious activities. I gotta read this whole thing. The FBI has not forgotten and believes that during this critical moment in Iran's history, there is someone who knows something about her whereabouts. Daniel Wizarbicki, special agent in charge of the FBI Washington Field Office Counterintelligence and Cyber Division, said in a statement, likely referring to the U.S.'s ongoing tensions with Iran. The FBI wants to hear from you so you can help us apprehend Witt and bring her to justice, it said. Witt was a former counterintelligence officer for the Air Force Office of Special Investigations from 2003 to 2008. Witt's work involved counterintelligence assignments that took her to the Middle East. In 2019, then Assistant Attorney General John Demers alleged that Witt was targeted and recruited by Iran after she defected. She allegedly revealed to Iran the existence of a highly classified intelligence program, or highly classified intelligence collection program, and the identity of a U.S. intelligence officer, thereby risking the life of this individual. And so I would say that part is the most relevant thing. I mean, obviously giving up information, but giving up information that actually leads to another agent, like blowing that person's identity, yeah, you're putting that person in jeopardy, that person's family in jeopardy, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Obviously, that's like, oof, maybe like one of the worser things we talk about when we are talking about this espionage shit. Let's see here. Prosecutor alleged in an indictment that from around January of 2012 to around May of 2015 in Iran and elsewhere outside the U.S., Witt conspired with Iranians to provide documents and information relating to the national defense of the United States with the intent and reason to believe that the same would be used to the injury of the United States and to the advantage of Iran. After a defection, Iranian government officials provided Witt with goods and services, including housing and computer equipment, to facilitate her work for them, according to the indictment. It's unclear whether she has a lawyer in the U.S. to represent her. The indictment also charged 4 Iranians with conspiracy attempts to commit computer intrusion and aggravated identity theft. Now, this is interesting to me just because it's current, it's timely, it's got some spy shit. You know I love that. But to me, I can't. It looks obvious, it feels obvious. There's a streak of pettiness to this. There's a streak of like, we just want to get somebody to get almost our pound of flesh. Like we're going through this whole ass fucking war with Iran that we had started and we more or less have engaged. We blew up the fucking Ayatollah. But it's like, we gotta get this person because they put a thumb in our eye. It's like, okay, man, that's some old ass fucking shit, bro. Crying over spilled milk. About to shell out $200,000 from spilled milk. I mean, all right, okay. Not saying that what this person did was okay. We've already talked about that. We discussed that. Obviously, very bad. Tisk, tisk, tisk. But like, is this worth the time? Is this worth the effort that we're putting into it? Once again, open up that motherfucking straight, Donald. You better be in China working that thing. All right? You better be zhishing on that fucking ping right now for us. Please. Motherfucker. Anyway, speaking of Donald Trump, we got to talk about some administration shit, I guess, and we'll close it out. From ABC News, happy trails to you. Border Patrol Chief Michael Banks is stepping down. But you know what? I was about to spark up. You can say that. Who knows what I'm initially saying in that. But yeah, we're going to do our last break and we'll close it out. I do think I have fully integrated cayenne pepper into my coffee regimen now at home, and I'm never gonna be the same. I think that it's not a part of me. And the upsides for the ones at home is I not just have mocha, I also have, I was about to say caramel, and then I got stun locked either way. So it's pretty nice. It's pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and close this out. Border Patrol Chief Michael Banks is stepping down. I probably read that, whatever. Michael Banks, the head of U.S. Border Patrol, is stepping down. U.S. Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Rodney Scott confirmed on Thursday. Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. They're doing a little glazing for him. Banks was tapped to lead the agency by President Donald Trump in January 2025. He has helped oversee the administration crackdown. So, yeah, I love that this thumb is just doing it for him. But yeah, he's gone now. I guess he's gonna focus on home stuff. I didn't hear any dirt, didn't see any like scandal about him. I don't know if he was pushed out or really was just like, I've done enough. We're good here. I want to go back home to not do this job or whatever. Hey, I gotta get that, brother. On that note, or whatever the fuck. Anyway, tomatoes for this guy. Obviously not a fucking fan. Good riddance. Happy trails. Whatever. I don't know who's replacing him. I guess they have this as well. Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement Director Todd Lyons is expected to depart his post at the end of the month. Dave Venturella, a former career ICE agent, is set to take his place. So, yeah, one asshole after the fucking next. But that's it. That's really all I have for today. That's all the news that I have wrangled for you. Let's see here. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, become a newsie today. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. Let's see. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Like I said, that makes me happy when I see that number go up. Ooh, excuse me. It makes me burp for joy. Yes, it does. Leave a like, leave a cool comment. Sharing is caring. 5 stars on Spotify, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Would you kindly? It's always appreciated, but I don't care if you do that. It doesn't matter to me if you do that. I really am just thankful to have people to yap to. That really is, it's nice. It's fulfilling. Because Lord knows at this point, I would just blog to the abyss. It would just be for me to run back every once in a blue moon when I was feeling, too crazy and I'm running back my thoughts, God Emperor style, if you know, you know. But I'm appreciative that there are people who tune into the shit. And the number goes up and it goes down, but the number is never zero. And that to me is the craziest thing. That to me is the most surprising thing when I look at the fucking numbers. So thank you. I really appreciate you for that alone. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.